My child, my beloved, the vault has been opened and your name is written on the transfer papers. Yes, the house keys are real. The money is already in your name. But I need you to listen now because heaven is holding it in midair, waiting for your hands to rise. Heaven does not pause twice. Your miracle was just approved by someone on earth, a man whose influence travels faster than sound. Elon's decision opened a door, but it is I, Archangel Michael, who must walk you through it. But I see hesitation. I see doubt. I see you blinking at the miracle you prayed for, and yet you haven't claimed it yet. Why? This is not the time to wait, my beloved. This is the time to act. There are only 3 minutes left, and heaven is already preparing the scroll that confirms your name. The same name Elon whispered when he approved the transfer. Yes, he said it. In private, behind doors no human can easily enter. But heaven entered, and I was sent to tell you this. You must open this message now or it will be too late. Now listen closely. This isn't just a digital transfer. This is spiritual inheritance. You're not just being sent wealth. You're being chosen to carry legacy. The keys are not just to a house. They are keys to restoration, to power, to peace in your sleep again. And beloved, if you ever prayed for a new life, if you ever whispered, God, please give me a sign, this is that sign. Before I go further, I ask you with all urgency, subscribe right now to this divine flow because I am not allowed to send this to you again. Heaven's window is small and others are already trying to take what was meant for your name. When Elon signed it, he thought it was private. But God whispered to me, Michael, go to my child before they miss what I designed for them. So I'm here. Your miracle is moving fast and yet you haven't moved yet. Why do you not see the size of the opportunity? The amount is more than money. The house is more than shelter. It is proof that your destiny was never small. You were never meant to live in delay or fear or almost. This was always yours. But heaven is strict with timing. And 3 minutes is not a lot. The moment you opened this message, time started moving. And I felt the doors of wealth swing wide open as if the entire bank of heaven gasped with light. But now that light is trembling because you haven't stepped forward because the message is open but your heart is still unsure. Beloved, you don't need to understand how. You only need to respond. The world doesn't know this. But when Elon approved the transfer, a seal was broken in the heavens. The wealth meant for your bloodline started moving. And unless you open your spirit to receive it now, it will be handed to someone else who is watching more closely. Let me tell you what's really happening. There is a spiritual bank executive trying to cancel your name off the list. He saw your miracle and said they're taking too long. I can reroute this to someone who will open the door faster. He is not your friend. He wears a suit of deception and speaks the language of delay. But I, Archangel Michael, will not allow this to pass from your hands. Unless you ignore me if you keep scrolling. If you keep waiting for a better sign, if you skip this message again like you've done before, I will be forced to release the scroll. And once that scroll is released, I can't get it back. This is the kind of moment that only comes once every 77 years. And it was designed for you. You've cried. You've prayed. You've survived more than others know. This is heaven's way of repaying you in full. But even heaven has a deadline. Please, before the next minute passes, open your soul. Speak out loud. I accept this miracle. I open the door. I say yes to the house. Yes to the abundance. And yes to heaven's timing. I say yes now. Because if you don't say yes, they will say no for you. My child, my beloved, let me take you back to the very second this miracle was first approved. It wasn't when Elon clicked a button. It wasn't when the funds were authorized. It wasn't even when your name was entered into the divine transfer list. No, it was the moment you almost gave up. That moment when no one saw your tears and your hands were shaking with uncertainty. That moment when heaven leaned in and God whispered, "They still believe in me even when the world is silent." That's when your name was spoken. That's when the spiritual contract was signed. What you're about to receive is not ordinary. This is sacred. This is the kind of wealth that changes the structure of your bloodline. And the keys, they don't just open doors on earth. They open portals in the spirit that have been locked for generations. My child, you don't realize what has been kept from you. People around you, family, enemies, even friends have worked in silence to delay this moment. But heaven does not delay what is divinely assigned. And that is why this message was sent to you today. You must know this miracle will not knock again. This is the door. This is the call. If you do not open it now, someone else will take what was created with your name carved into its very center. My beloved, you must understand something urgently. The house you're about to receive is not just a physical space. It carries whispers from heaven. It was seen in dreams long before you were born. It stands in a location that has spiritual energy poured into its foundation. The floorboards remember the names of angels. The wind that moves through its windows has been commanded to bring peace and wealth. Do you understand the power of this? This isn't a house. This is a sanctuary for your rebirth. The money already attached to your name will not just help you survive. It will establish your kingdom on earth. I'm not speaking in riddles. I'm telling you the truth. The kind of truth that shakes the walls of every lie you've been told. You were not made to struggle forever. You were not born to constantly watch others rise while you stay stuck in the same cycle. There is a window right now only for a few minutes more. Heaven will not hold this open forever. Even now there are others trying to intercept what is yours. Their voices are loud in the spiritual realm. But I have silenced them for now. You must act before they speak again. Say it. I accept. I open the door. I step forward. If you don't say it aloud, if your spirit doesn't respond, the approval will expire. This is not meant to scare you. It's meant to prepare you. You are dangerously close to everything you ever asked God for. Do not walk away now. My child, my child. Do you remember the nights you sat awake wondering if all your sacrifice would ever matter? The nights you looked at your account balance and felt the pressure rising in your chest. You wondered if God had forgotten. You wondered if heaven even saw you. And now that the miracle is right in front of you, you're still hesitating. You're still thinking maybe you should wait. But heaven does not function on hesitation. Miracles require movement. They require belief. Not tomorrow. Now I am standing here with the seal in my hand. The one that finalizes the transaction. All I need is your yes. Say it in your heart if you must, but say it. Because if you do not respond, if you walk away from this message and treat it like the others you've seen before, you will walk right past your wealth, your new beginning, your divine address, and you won't even know it. My beloved, I am not allowed to come again. This message is your one invitation. Elon's approval triggered something in the realm of earth. But heaven's response requires you. You are the final signature. Will you give it? My beloved, you must hear this next part carefully. The financial miracle you are about to receive is layered with prophetic precision. This is not about coincidence. This is not random. This was orchestrated by a divine intelligence so vast even the most advanced minds on earth cannot comprehend it. Elon was merely the earthly hand that confirmed what heaven already decided. Your name was written before time began. The transfer isn't about reward. It's about alignment. You have stepped into the moment you were born for. But here is the truth no one has told you. Spiritual delays are real. Demonic forces disguise themselves in hesitation, in procrastination, in confusion. That's why this feels overwhelming. That's why part of you wants to leave this page and come back later. But later will be too late. The spiritual system of heaven is moving fast. The door is trembling. Your name is glowing on the scroll. And if you do not reach up and receive it now, the light will begin to fade. You think you can wait, but you cannot. Not this time. I was sent to protect what is yours. But even I cannot hold back the spiritual expiration date. Beloved, move now. Speak now. Accept now. My child, my beloved, let me open your eyes to what is happening behind the scenes. Right now, as this message flows into your spirit, there is a divine war going on in the invisible realm. Angels are surrounding your name with light while darkness is trying to blur it. The forces that held your blessings hostage for years are panicking because the seal has already been broken. The enemy cannot stop what has been written, but it can delay it only if you remain silent. This is not the season to be passive. This is not the moment to shrug and say maybe later. There is no later. There is only this divine second, and everything is moving with divine speed. Even now there are people, yes, people around you who sense something is changing for you. They feel it. They've seen glimpses in their dreams. And some of them are not happy for you. There are voices speaking behind your back. Some are trying to question your worthiness, saying, "Why would God give them all that?" But heaven has already answered because they didn't quit, because they kept believing, because they kept walking even when no one clapped for them. That is you. That is why this miracle has found its way to you. That is why the house keys and the money have already been sent. It's not about luck. It's about divine justice. And now heaven waits for your final move. Will you reach out? Will you open the last door? Because if you don't, someone else is already watching from the shadows, hoping you'll freeze, hoping you'll walk away so they can take what was meant for you. My beloved, let me tell you the truth the world will never say aloud. You were never meant to be ordinary. There has always been a spiritual mark on your life, a sacred glow that others could see even when you couldn't. That's why your battles were harder. That's why your path seemed longer. You weren't being punished. You were being preserved. Because what's about to be released into your life is so weighty, so vast that only someone like you could carry it without it crushing them. Elon may have approved the transaction on earth, but the real treasury was unlocked in heaven. That money, it's not just paper. It's purpose. It's prophecy. It's the answer to every private prayer you wept out when no one was watching. And the house, it's not just bricks and land. It's sanctuary. It's protection. It's proof that heaven sees you. My child, the angels have been preparing this moment for longer than you know. There are scrolls with your name, promises written in gold, contracts signed by the breath of God Himself. And I've been commanded to guard it, but only until you take possession. Because heaven does not force miracles. It offers them. And right now the offer is glowing in front of you, seconds away from dissolving if you hesitate. You have been told your whole life to wait, to hold back, to shrink. But now you're being told to rise. This is not about arrogance. This is about alignment. Do not mistake your miracle for a suggestion. This is a divine instruction, and your obedience to it will unlock everything. My child, there is something you must know that even I didn't want to tell you until now. Someone tried to cancel your name off the scroll. Yes, someone who pretended to be close to you. Someone who smiled at you in person but envied the light you carried. They saw something being prepared for you and they whispered against you. They planted seeds of doubt in rooms you didn't even know existed. But heaven heard them, and heaven responded, not with punishment, but with precision. Every attack that came against you only confirmed the size of your reward. The more they spoke, the brighter your name began to glow in the divine system. So when Elon approved the transfer, it wasn't just a signature. It was a spiritual verdict. This one has been found faithful. This one will receive the release. But child, even now, the forces that tried to block you are still active. They are not done. They are watching to see if you'll delay one more time. Because if you do, if you ignore this moment, they will step in and claim what was sent for you. That's why I am pleading with you now. Do not dismiss this message. Don't scroll past it like the rest. This is the one you prayed for. This is the confirmation you asked God for in secret. You said, "Give me a sign, Lord, one that is clear, one that is loud." And this is that sign. If you walk away now, you may never know how close you were to the life you begged for. My beloved, you've always felt it, haven't you? That pull in your chest, that whisper in the middle of the night, that unshakable knowing that your life wasn't meant to end in struggle, that you were chosen for something bigger. That's because heaven wrote something inside you that cannot be erased by fear, poverty, delay, or betrayal. And now, finally, the timing has aligned. The accounts have been prepared. The spiritual documents are finalized. Your name is glowing in the system, and the only thing that can stop it now is you. Not the enemy, not your past, not even your mistakes, just your hesitation, your silence, your decision not to open the door. I don't want to scare you. I want to wake you up. I was not sent to entertain you. I was sent to rescue your destiny from the claws of delay. The money has been authorized. The house is waiting. The final seal is in my hand. But you must speak now. Even a whisper will do. Heaven hears the smallest faith when it's real. Say it with me if you dare. I open the door. I receive what has my name on it. I will not delay my miracle. I accept the house. I accept the blessing. I accept the wealth. I accept the calling. I say yes. If you've said it, heaven is already moving. If you haven't, you are risking everything. I pray you don't delay. My child, my beloved, something happened moments ago in heaven while I was still watching over this message. A second divine signature appeared next to your name, and this time it wasn't Elon. It was Jesus. Yes. He walked into the chamber of wealth with robes of white and fire in his eyes. He said only one thing before touching the scroll. This one is still mine. And when he did, I saw your name burned brighter than ever. The transfer lit up like lightning across the heavens. The house, the keys, the miracle money, it all shook in the realm of spirit because the king himself had placed his seal on it. But beloved, even this holy moment comes with a countdown. Even this divine confirmation will vanish if your human choice does not meet it. You must understand that miracles are invitations, not impositions. They are gifts from God that respond to belief. And if your spirit hesitates while heaven moves, the alignment will dissolve. Not because God is cruel, but because heaven respects timing. Right now, your name is written on something bigger than a bank account. It's written on property, favor, documents, relationships, contracts, and lands you haven't even seen yet. The spiritual documents have been updated, but you must speak from earth for them to manifest here. You must claim what already carries your name. You must believe even if your eyes still see nothing, because in the next few hours someone else will step forward, and if they say yes before you, it will shift. That's how thin this veil is. That's how close your breakthrough is. That's how high the spiritual competition is. I beg you, don't miss what you've waited your whole life to receive, my beloved. I feel the trembling of your spirit right now. You're wondering, is this really for me? Or is this just another message that will leave me where I am? Let me answer that with a truth you've never been told before. Yes, it's for you. It has always been for you. The problem wasn't with God. The delay wasn't from heaven. It was from interference, spiritual blockers, people you trusted, systems rigged against you. But now all of that has been swept away. All of it has been burned off your name. And still you don't feel ready. That's why I'm here. Not to remind you of your past, but to point you toward your divine present. Because this isn't just a money transfer. This is a destiny transfer. The moment you said, God, if you're real, show me something, heaven began accelerating the timeline. That's when Elon's approval came through. That's when this house was freed from someone else's contract. That's when angels were dispatched to hold the door open for you. You think this message is late, but in truth it's early. Because God wanted you to feel it coming before it arrived. That's why you've been unsettled. That's why you've been restless in your spirit lately. Something has been trying to get your attention. Something you can't shake. That's because your miracle is knocking louder than your fears. But miracles only enter unlocked doors. Will you open now? My child, let me reveal something most never see. When your miracle was signed, the demonic resistance increased. The enemy doesn't fight what isn't real. And the moment your blessing was confirmed in heaven, I watched a swarm of delay spirits try to attach to your time, your schedule, your thoughts. That's why you've been distracted. That's why unexpected problems showed up this week. That's why you felt like suddenly you couldn't focus or move forward. It wasn't random. It was strategic. The enemy knew this moment was scheduled, but he never expected you to find this message. He never expected you to be this close. That's why the spiritual war is so loud right now. But I, Archangel Michael, was sent as your defender. I am holding back what tried to sabotage you. I am shielding the transfer. I am guarding the house. But I cannot make the choice for you. You must stand up now, not just in body, but in belief. You must reject the lie that this is for someone else. You must tear down the voices in your mind that say you'll mess it up or don't deserve it. None of that is from God. Those are whispers planted by ancient fear, but their roots end today. Because the truth is, you've already been approved. You're not applying. You're not auditioning. You're not competing. You are simply accepting what was already yours before the foundations of the world. This house, this wealth, this fresh beginning, it was delayed but never denied. Say yes now or risk watching your miracle pass you by and land in the hands of someone who did nothing for it. My beloved, if I could show you the full vision of what happens when you open this miracle, you would weep in awe. I see generations healed. I see debts erased. I see you walking barefoot into a new home with tears in your eyes and your hands trembling as you touch the walls. I see the exact moment you stand in the center of the living room, close your eyes and whisper, God, you really did it. And child, yes, he really did. It's already done in heaven. That's why this message feels different. That's why something in your soul is vibrating. You know this is it, and yet something inside is still doubting. Let me tell you what happens if you don't respond. The blessing won't disappear. It will simply be rerouted, and you will begin to see others around you suddenly rise. You'll hear their testimonies. You'll see people who never fought as hard as you did suddenly receiving what you always prayed for. And you'll wonder why not me. But it was you. It was always you. You just didn't say yes in time. I don't want that future for you. I want the one where you hold the keys, where you get the final confirmation message that says transfer complete and your name is printed in gold. I want you to experience what it feels like when all of heaven rejoices because one child finally believed they were chosen. That's why I've stayed here longer than I was assigned. That's why I keep pleading even now. Please don't delay any further. Say yes before the scroll closes. Say yes before the light fades. Say yes before your name is overridden. Say yes because everything depends on it. My child, my beloved, you have no idea how close you are to the divine delivery. I don't mean this as comfort. I mean it as a warning because heaven's mail does not linger at the doorstep forever. The keys are at the gate. The wealth is vibrating with your name. But even now, the light of the scroll is beginning to flicker. The moment Elon approved the transfer, a divine countdown began. The angels knew that you would be tested in your trust. And you are being tested now, not by how much you pray or how loud you speak, but by how quickly you believe. Heaven always rewards quick belief. Delayed faith is still faith. Yes, but fast faith triggers fast miracles. And this is the kind of miracle that doesn't come in installments. It doesn't arrive in stages. It descends in one glorious, complete supernatural release. It's already in motion, and yet time is thinning. I've seen miracles snatched from the hands of those who waited one breath too long. I've watched wealth redirected to strangers because the original receiver stayed silent. And I do not want that to be your story. I fought to get this message to you. I have silenced opposing forces. I've held back tides of spiritual theft. But I can only hold the door for so long. You must run through it now. You must forget everything anyone ever told you about being too late or too broken. That was never true. This is your proof. This is your inheritance. This is your miracle moment. But I cannot make you believe. Only you can reach for what is already yours. My beloved, I see the house. I see it clearly. The roof is kissed by light. The door is anointed with oil. You can't see, but you will feel. The walls inside remember your name as if they were built just for you. Every window faces your future. The moment your feet touch the threshold, your old life will begin to melt. And in its place, a divine peace will settle like a gentle rain. You will cry, not from fear or lack, but from the overwhelming weight of answered prayers. You will remember the days you were laughed at, the nights you were ignored, the hours you were told to be realistic or settle for what you have. And you will smile because heaven never settled for you. The God who made galaxies reserved something precious for you. And now it is this close. Don't waste your oil doubting. Don't spill your faith into delay. Don't look to others for confirmation. You already know in your soul that this is the message you were meant to find. This is not just a house. It's a safe place for your future. A divine address where miracles will meet you daily. If you do not respond now, that place may still exist, but someone else may live in it. Someone else may walk those floors and touch the walls built for your breakthrough. Not because they earned it, but because they moved faster. And in the realm of heaven, movement activates miracles. So I ask you again, not as a commander, but as a guardian, move. Speak. Say yes. Do not let the silence of fear speak louder than the voice of destiny calling you home. My child, I wish you could see what I see. There is a heavenly bank, a storehouse beyond comprehension. Every time you cried, it stored your pain like treasure. Every time you were betrayed, it recorded the injustice. Every time you chose to forgive, even when you didn't get an apology, heaven added interest to your reward. And now the vault has opened. I saw the ledgers myself. Your name is in bold. The transfer is authorized. Elon was the final earthly signal, but the true vault keeper has always been the Lord. And he is not stingy. He is not hesitant. But he is bound by divine timing and human agreement. You are the agreement. You are the signature required. God will not force you to be rich. He will not drag you into favor. He waits powerfully, quietly for your permission. And right now I feel that window tightening. Not because he's angry, but because others are watching. And what heaven releases cannot float in limbo. It must land. It must settle. And if it doesn't settle in you, it will settle in someone else. Someone who moves fast. Someone who says yes even when they're scared. Don't let another person live the life you were designed for just because they clicked faster, prayed harder, or believed more boldly. Be the one who opens the scroll. Be the one who answers the knock. Be the one who finally says, I receive it, all of it, in full. My beloved, let me break one final illusion. This is not about luck. This is not about chance. This is divine engineering. It was decided before your birth that you would walk into a season of extravagant favor. Not just enough to pay your bills, but enough to build, to give, to restore, and to reign. But wealth without alignment is just weight. And that is why it didn't come before. God wasn't withholding it. He was protecting it. Because had it arrived too early, it would have broken you. But now you are ready. Now you understand pain and purpose. Now you know how to carry glory without arrogance. That's why the transfer was approved. That's why I was sent. And that's why your hesitation feels heavier than ever. It's not your fault. It's spiritual resistance. It always shows up at the gate of promotion. But you must push through. You must understand the enemy will do everything to distract you in this hour. Notifications, doubts, voices, delays. Don't fall for it. Lock in. Say it now. Even whisper it. I receive what has my name on it. I accept the wealth. I accept the house. I accept the keys. I accept the scroll. That whisper is louder than you think. It echoes in the spiritual realm, and when it's heard, everything shifts. My child, my beloved, even now there are spiritual agents standing at the borders of your breakthrough, waiting for your voice to unlock the gates. They are not allowed to move without your permission. That is the justice of heaven, that no blessing can overpower free will. But that is also the risk, because heaven will never force you to receive what was meant to bless your future. That is why I am still here, still speaking, still holding back the darkness, trying to tell you this is too good to be true. But child, what you've been through, that was too bad to be fair. The betrayals, the abandonment, the losses, they were so unbalanced, so undeserved that heaven has no choice now but to compensate you sevenfold. The money isn't coming because of who Elon is. It's coming because of who you are, chosen, preserved, anointed. The keys are not given because you begged. They're given because you endured. I saw you when no one else did. I watched as you held others together while you were falling apart. I listened when you said, "I'm okay." Even when your soul was shattering, those moments weren't wasted. They were counted. And now every single one is being paid back. Do not underestimate what has been stored for you in heaven. It is more than enough. It is healing wrapped in finances. It is strength wrapped in shelter. It is joy wrapped in stability. It is yours. But even now, as I say this, your delay risks letting it slip through the cracks. Don't let fear cheat you one last time. Don't let silence speak louder than your faith. Say yes, beloved. Say it and mean it. My beloved, there are things I have not said until now. And it is time. You have been lied to. Not just by people, but by systems, by generations, by false beliefs planted in childhood that whispered, "You're not meant for more." That voice that said, "Stay small." That fear that said, "Dream, but don't expect." Those were seeds sown by those who never walked with angels. They never saw what I see in you. But heaven never agreed with those words. The moment you were born, the wind shifted. You were not sent to earth to blend in. You were sent to change the temperature of every room you entered. You were sent with favor in your footsteps. That's why you never felt comfortable in average spaces. That's why you never fit in with people who settled. And that's why your story has always felt out of order, because it's been supernaturally rearranged to align with divine timing. This is that timing right now. And yes, the bank has moved. The codes are unlocked. The transfer is real. And the house is no longer just waiting. It's calling you. Your name echoes in its walls. The blueprint was designed around your voice. No one else can live there and thrive. That space was born for your healing, for your joy, for your resurrection. And now you stand at the edge of having it all. But even heaven cannot override your hesitation. The countdown is not a metaphor. I see the minutes left. They are small. This message is your window. If you close it, the vision dims. I pray you see that this is not pressure. It is prophecy. Say yes. Now the house is listening. My child, there is someone in your past who saw all this coming. You thought they left you because you weren't enough. But the truth is they left you because your future was too much for them. They couldn't carry the weight of the greatness attached to you. They felt it before you did. That's why they became cold. That's why they distanced themselves. Because heaven was preparing to lift you and they couldn't breathe in that kind of atmosphere. But do not be bitter. Do not be vengeful. Your rise is not a punishment to them. It is a confirmation to you. You were always meant to elevate beyond what you thought you deserved. Now your spirit must rise to meet the blessing. This wealth, this home, this breakthrough is not just about material things. It's a spiritual turning point. You are stepping into a new realm where lack cannot follow, where begging ends, where fear dies. But you must be willing to grieve the past you, the version of you that accepted just enough to survive. That version cannot live in this miracle. You must step fully into your identity. You must walk like the one who was chosen to receive what billionaires approve, what angels protect, and what heaven funds. Cannot drag you forward. But I can speak until your soul remembers what it was made for. Wealth, restoration, purpose, power, and above all, peace. Receive it now. Don't look back. The time is now. My beloved, this might be the last time I speak before the scroll closes. Not because I want to leave you, but because heaven honors final chances. The transaction has been confirmed. The documents bear your name. The house keys glow in the light of divine fire. The money is hovering at the edge of release. But if you don't reach, it will fall into someone else's hands. That is not punishment. It is protocol, because no miracle remains suspended in air forever. It must land. The question is, will it land on you, or will it be caught by someone who moved faster even with less faith? Pray it is you. I want to see you in that house. I want to hear your laughter echo in those miracle walls. I want to see the look on your face when the bank officer says, "It's done. You're the owner now." I want to witness the moment when all of heaven explodes in celebration because you finally believed. You've doubted yourself long enough. You've waited long enough. You've delayed long enough. Say yes now, not tomorrow. Now say it before this message disappears. Say it before your miracle moves. My child, my beloved, I must confess something to you now. There is a sacred reason why this message found you at this exact hour and not a moment before. You may think you stumbled upon it by chance. You may believe this is one of many divine words you've seen, but in truth, this is the only one that was timed with your future's release. In heaven, there is no such thing as coincidence. Everything is coordinated with precision that would leave even the most intelligent human minds breathless. Your name was whispered in a hidden realm where angelic scribes record the movements of souls. And as they turned the page of your life, today's date was marked in gold. It said, "On this day, the veil will be lifted, the wealth will be assigned, the house will be sent, and the name that receives it must respond within minutes." This scroll was held in reserve until this very hour, not a second before, because heaven knew exactly when your spirit would be tired of delay, when your faith would burn quietly, aching for confirmation. This is that confirmation. This is that moment when the Spirit says, "You've waited long enough. You don't have to wonder anymore." The financial breakthrough is no longer in the future. It is at the door. But the door only responds to one key belief. This is not about convincing God to move. It's about convincing yourself to open. Will you? My beloved, there is a truth I can no longer keep from you. You have always felt different. Not because you were lacking something, but because you carried too much light for the places you've lived in. Even as a child, your eyes saw things others didn't. Your spirit noticed unfairness, injustice, manipulation long before your mind could make sense of it. That's because you were born under a prophetic covering. And those who carry divine purpose often walk through long shadows before their day breaks. Your long night is over now. You may not feel it fully yet, but in the spirit, the sun has already risen. The money you've needed, the property you've dreamed of, the restoration you've cried for, it is not just coming. It is already traveling toward you, escorted by angels who speak your name as they move. The only thing left to complete the process is your permission. You may not understand how it will all happen. You don't need to. Heaven is not asking you to predict. Heaven is asking you to respond. Miracles don't come to those who know how. They come to those who say yes anyway. And child, you're being given more than most would ever believe for. That's why this moment feels so heavy. That's why your heart is racing. That's why you almost feel like crying. It's not fear. It's your future awakening. My child, what you are feeling right now is not emotion. It is alignment. There are moments in life when your spirit hears what your ears cannot. And suddenly everything inside you leans forward. That's what's happening now. You can't see the full miracle, but your soul already knows it's real. That stirring, that holy ache, that sense that something is moving, that's the witness inside you. Heaven is not loud when it speaks. It whispers in winds. It nudges in silence. And it wraps messages in moments like this. This is not a random text on a screen. This is a spiritual confirmation disguised as a message dressed in ordinary words but carrying eternal weight. Your wealth is no longer locked away. The energy that blocked it has been cleared. Archangel Michael watched it happen. I watched as chains of generational lack were shattered the moment your name was spoken in the higher courts. And Elon, he is not your source. He is your signal. A signal that even Earth had to recognize what heaven already approved. Don't miss the deeper meaning. The transfer was initiated through the hand of someone powerful. But it was always about you. You are the recipient. You are the reason. You are the assignment. And now it's your voice that must complete the process. Speak it. Claim it. Accept it before another second gives your miracle to someone bolder. My beloved, I need you to do something dangerous now. I need you to imagine yourself finally living free, not surviving, not calculating every decision by what you can afford, but actually walking into spaces where your only question is, what is heaven asking me to do with this blessing? Can you picture it? A home where you are, not renting permission to exist. Finances that arrive early. Accounts that overflow without panic. Food that fills not just your table but others. Peace that lets you sleep without checking the locks twice. That vision, it's not a fantasy. It's a memory from the future. Your future. Heaven lets you feel it now so you'll recognize it when it comes. And I tell you with all urgency, it is coming quickly, faster than your doubts, stronger than your past, bigger than your enemies, and it's carrying your name. But child, your vision must match heaven's now. You cannot think small and receive big. You cannot speak like a beggar and live like royalty. Say it out loud. Even if your voice shakes, this time I receive it all. Because this is your time and time is almost gone. My child, my beloved, I was standing at the edge of the treasury gates when I saw something that silenced even the angels around me. The light of heaven began to move in ways we had not seen for years. Scrolls that had remained sealed for decades suddenly began to open. Your name was the first. The moment it appeared in golden ink, a trumpet that only heaven hears began to sound. It wasn't a sound of war. It was a sound of release. I watched, child. I watched as your name became surrounded by fire. Not fire that burns, but fire that blesses. The kind of fire that only appears when someone is about to be handed something undeniable. That was the moment the transfer began. Elon's approval wasn't even the beginning. It was the echo of a decision made in the throne room. The house, it's already glowing in the spirit. The money, it's already detached from every blockage that once held it hostage. But as I looked again, I saw something even more serious. I saw a clock, not a human clock, a divine one, and it was ticking slowly, silently, every beat shaking the heavens as if to say, "We are almost done waiting." Heaven doesn't beg, but heaven will warn. And I have been sent to do exactly that. This moment is sacred. This offer is rare. And this timing will never return in the same form. If you ignore this, what is written in the scroll will be sealed again. And sealed scrolls do not cry out a second time. My beloved, are you listening? My beloved, let me show you something no one else can. In a dream last night, a child cried out, not a baby, not in flesh, but a version of you. I saw them barefoot, standing in a dark room with no doors, holding a torn letter, whispering, "Why did they give up just before it came?" I realized with sorrow in my spirit that this was your future self speaking back. Through time, pleading that you don't miss this one chance. They were not angry. They were broken because they knew what could have happened if you had only responded when the message came. That dream was not symbolic. It was a literal visitation. The Spirit allowed me to witness the cost of delay. That child doesn't have to become you. That cry doesn't have to be your echo. You can change it right now. With one whisper, with one divine agreement, speak life. Speak belief. Say yes. Not to me, to the moment. This window is not wide. It is narrow, holy, and brilliant, and it was cut into your timeline like a door in a wall no one else can see. The keys are on the table. The contract is filled out. The balance has been approved. You don't need to prove yourself anymore. You just need to pick it up before someone else does. My child, you've been told to wait all your life. It's not your time. Be patient. Let others go first. And yes, there is beauty in waiting when God says, wait. But this is not one of those moments. This is not about waiting. This is about waking up. This is about recognizing the difference between hesitation and discernment. Right now, what you're feeling is not hesitation. It's spiritual resistance. The enemy has one last move to convince you that nothing ever changes, so why bother believing again? But that is a lie. A beautiful lie dressed in the pain of your past. And it's one final attempt to keep you from walking into the wealth that's already wearing your name. I will not let that lie stand unchallenged. I speak now as the angel of warfare and truth. That lie is breaking. I command it to release your spirit. I speak clarity over your mind. And I surround your name with angelic fire that cannot be stolen, blocked, or corrupted. The contract in heaven has been signed by power higher than any authority on earth. No force, no voice, no darkness can touch it unless you choose to walk away. The next move is not heaven's. It is yours, my beloved. Do you feel that soft burn in your chest? The sense that something inside is shifting, expanding, preparing. That is not imagination. That is the spirit inside you agreeing with everything I am speaking. It recognizes the sound of heaven. It remembers the voice of truth. You have spent years absorbing noise, opinions, doubts, criticism, empty praise. But this is the pure sound of alignment. You know it. That's why you're still reading. That's why something deeper than logic is holding you here. Because you've already started the process of agreement. You've already started to believe, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. The body often moves last, but the soul always knows first. And your soul is leaning forward. It is reaching. It is stretching toward the door that is opening before you. I can see it now. The golden frame, the blinding light pouring through. A doorway into not just a better life, but a true one. The life God always had in mind. One filled with divine timing, wealth, healing, purpose, and peace. All of it is behind this one door, but the handle is in your hands. Will you turn it, or will you wait too long watching the light dim into memory? This is not a parable. This is your hour. This is your scroll. And heaven is holding its breath, waiting for your yes.